When I was a child, I used to entertain the idea of what we would do in the case of a zombie apocalypse. Me and my friends used to speculate on how we'd barricade up our school and go find weapons and supplies and medical necessities to fight back the hordes, and we'd write a giant SOS sign on the roof to be saved by the army or whatever was left over in the case of everything being wiped out. Since then, a lot of zombie media has occurred. We're talking Left 4 Dead, The Walking Dead, COD Zombies, Project Zomboid, everything in between. Now, I don't know if that's because we had hyperactive imaginations or because we wanted to see the world burn. I mean, we were kids, it could be both. Now, on a separate track, ever since the inception of video games, people have been playing with the idea of making real-world places into games. So for example, the main focal point is like GTA, which has taken a lot of liberties with things like, well, Liberty City, which is based on New York, Vice City being based on Miami, San Andreas being based on San Francisco, so on and so forth, all the way up to Microsoft Simulator on the other end of the track that takes the whole world. So with this in mind, it makes perfect sense that people are bound to bring the two together, considering post-apocalypse, real world, they just go hand in hand. Now people could take their imaginations, ourselves included, and make them into games. And the one tool that helped set this forward was the advent of things like Google Maps and OpenStreetMap. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole history of Google Maps and OpenStreetMap because I'll be here for a very, very long time. However, I have come across this blog called Maps Mania that's been running since 2005, detailing all the games and tools that came out from Google Maps. Of course, the first thing they've got was a tool to find... And the first submitted link is a sex offender registry. Great start, guys. And the next one is about stalking celebrities? What the hell? Anyway, I'm just skip ahead. The internet was wild back then, and if you stare in the abyss for too long, it stares back. This blog, however, does have some good entries, funny and even useful ones like this infection map from 2006. Wait, an infection map? Anyway, let's skip ahead to 2011. The World of the Living Dead is launched. It's a Google Maps zombie fighting game where you fight zombies over the background of Google Maps with safe houses, squads and properties and zombies. What the No, cool, them in an MMO called Fleck. Anyway, if you want to check out that blog, you can do. It is in the description. It is still being posted to this day. There's lots of cool stuff on there. The point of all of this was to say that the idea of making real-world places into video games can be really fun. Now, the process of doing so does take a significant amount of time, however, and it does tend to cause controversy if you get it wrong. The other issue, though, is that turning a real-world location to actual gameplay is very hard to translate on a macro scale. See, where games like GTA succeed, other games like Zombie Outbreak Simulator fail. Zombie Outbreak Simulator is a sandbox game for the App Store you can get on your phone where you fight off hordes of the infected with the background being of various places on Google Maps, including possibly your home. Now, I do actually need to add a clarification at this point. See, it's not actually Google Maps that all these things used, I've mentioned it earlier. It's either Google Maps or OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap allows developers to create custom map changes due to the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike license, that's a mouthful, that allows for free use and redistribution of that map. I won't get into what that all means because licenses will take a long time to explain, but to put it simply, it just makes the process cheaper and easier for all the developers. Okay, moving on. So back to Zombie Outbreak Simulator. I'd describe it best as a time burner. It's not a bad game, I do like to play it, but it has no real goal in mind and the maps are... they're terrible at being maps. This is actually my biggest gripe with the IRL zombie genre. See, it's all good sticking zombies and assets on a background with a place on the map, but it functionally acts no different than just a picture of a puppy with a game as the overlay. There's no barriers, no buildings and no progression. So all it really is, the game with a green screen background that just changes to a different place in the world. It's nowhere near the kind of game worth thinking of when we're looking at like a real world zombie apocalypse scenario. At least, that was until now. Allow me to introduce you to Infection Free Zone. Now the first thing you notice about Infection Free Zone is that it does not look like Zombie Outbreak Simulator. The idea is that the world has fallen to the zombies and you need to rebuild, creating an infection-free zone.
He said it! He said it!
The coolest part is it actually is a really fun game. I streamed the first playthrough of this live on my Twitch channel, which is where I learned how the game works, and the story is as follows.
The mad virus came out of nowhere and spread throughout the world at breakneck speed. Most people were lucky. It caused their hearts to stop, and just like that they were gone and didn't have to worry about what the world would turn into after all hell broke loose. Others were less fortunate, losing control over themselves once infected and becoming aggressive towards just about everything. As a result, it didn't take long for entire societies to collapse, followed by evacuated cities and deficiencies in essential resources like electricity, water, and food. Yet, the truly doomed are neither the dead nor the infected, but the ones who survived. The ones like you, forced to live on and to try to rebuild what is left of the civilization we once knew.
Sorry, I had something in my throat. What's more important for the video though, and the most exciting part, is the game is actually based on real world locations. You wouldn't be able to tell at first. Hell, I didn't even notice until I went on stream and decided to test how real it was. I was in Crofton, USA, and after measuring up the two, I was able to figure out the exact street name, the map, and even the house that I was holed up in to start the game off. Now, I'm not going to show you the full details because, well, I don't want to dox whoever actually lives there. It is a real place after all. But the most important bit is that things like shops and libraries actually have an effect in the game, and they can affect your resources. They even added larger buildings like schools. Now, this game doesn't even just stop there. Sure, using maps and actually having an impact is cool, but the game lets you even make bases, drive cars, implements a whole story in the background, as you've just heard, that occurs regardless of where you are in the world. I don't have access to the full game yet, but I really can't wait until it is released so I can fight the infected in my city. Hold up, Editor Dextrius here, just cutting in to let you know that this is about 2 weeks later. It takes me so long to make these videos because I never have the chance to. Just let you know that early access is now available. It is down below in the description if you want to buy the game. I'd recommend getting the prologue first and see if you like the game, but of course you can get the full, at least early access version of it available now. So anyway, back to the video. I need to spend more time editing. Now, there's a lot to the game. I don't want to spoil it. You can take a look at all the clips you can see on screen. There's a lot of cool stuff. The game does, throughout the nights as they progress, release more and more hordes of zombies and more zombie types and more things you have to fight and more raiders and other people and vehicles and quests. It gets really complicated really quickly. Anyway, I think I'm going to replay this game on stream. Just show some interest if you want to see that. You can check that out down below, alongside the links to the prologue, a free version on Steam. I recommend you download it and give it a shot. The blog post that I showed you earlier, and of course the link to the full game, which is now available. Right, it is time for me to go. I don't have much time, and they are at the door.